Hey everybody, welcome to Board Online, Board Offline. Today we're going to play a scenario from Tanares Adventures. Now this is a very early scenario, which means that all of my skills and attack cards are level, well, the skills are level 1, the attack cards are actually level 0 still. So this is going to be a pretty basic example of how the game works, but it's also not the tutorial scenario, so you're also going to get to see maybe a little more about what the game can offer. As I get deeper into the campaign, I may bring you some gameplays of, once I've leveled up my skills. So for instance, let's go down here real quick. You can see these cards here. These are the skill cards right here. So I've got a Bruiser skill card and a Brute skill card. These tokens represent which skills I'm actively using. So you have 4 total skill tokens. Right now they're all level 1. The blue skills that you see, blue on this side, blue on this side, those can be used on your allies' turns. The red side can be used on your enemies' turns. None of the skills can be used during your turn. And we'll get into more about that as we go along. Meanwhile, over here, we've got, right here, you've got the Bruiser's 6 attack cards. These 2 right here with the gold, Glooming Thoughts and Shadow Grasp. These 2 are one use. You use them and they're done. They're very powerful cards. Then we've got Dark Manipulation and Mind Trap that can be used multiple times. You flip them over and then eventually you'll refresh them. These are specifically for this character that I'm playing as, which is Lord Wrath, the Shadow Knight. So they're specifically his attack cards. But then we've got these 2 attack cards that are Bruiser specific but are not character specific. These you can see are level 0 initial, so these will get leveled up eventually. And again, just like the other ones I just showed you, they have the silver up top, which means they can be flipped over and then refreshed at a certain point. And then the Brute over here, who is Cedric the Werewolf, has a similar setup. He's got 6 cards. 2 of them are the specials that are one use. 2 of them are specific to him, and 2 of them are specific to Brutes. We've also got a Druid that I'm choosing to use as a comrade, meaning it's a simplified version. I don't have the full skill pad, and they have just this sort of simple card here, as well as Rokaru the Samurai here, also as a comrade, so just a simple card there. And each of them have a greater and lesser impulse card, which essentially doesn't count as an attack, doesn't count as an action, anything like that. They're one use, but they can use them at any time on their turn, or I guess actually at the end of their turn. And when they do that, then they can, let's see, the target is a non-comrade hero, so it has to be not themselves, but a different hero, and also not a comrade. So it'd have to be either the Brute or the Bruiser, and they can, in this case, move 3, and then it makes a primary attack. So it gives one of my main characters a extra attack, and then this one actually heals them, moves them, and it makes a primary attack that's empowered 8, which empowered 8 would give them plus 8 to their damage. So we'll read about this scenario in a second. But essentially, we're starting in this room here. You can see there's a door here blocking off this next room. But we're starting up here. Now, I'm curious what's going to happen because, like I said, we're very much starting off. The Reaper, which is this guy with the red base here, he's level 1. All right, no big deal. However, the orange and the blue are both Spectres, and they are both level 3. And you can see 95 health points, 110 health points. I'm honestly a little concerned about that and the kind of damage they can do to me. And then, of course, there's going to be more enemies as we walk through this area. In this room, we've got this and this, which essentially act as barriers. And then we've got the spike traps here that if every space you move through those, you gain 4 or you take 4 damage. So the barricades here block movement, but they don't block line of sight. The only thing that blocks line of sight, which is actually called vision in this game, are walls and doors. Nothing else blocks line of sight, including other combatants. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually read through the scenario here. This is, like I said, second scenario. It's Adventure B, A Tale of Two Cities. You and Sarah approach the towering Iron Hand outpost together. An emotionless Iron Hand soldier halts your progress. His voice a mechanized monotone. State your name and occupation and objective within the outpost. Without missing a beat, Sarah retorts. Don't you recognize them? They are the esteemed heroes of the wharf and bring crucial news about the Kemet invasion for Captain Sidora. The soldier, his face a mask of indifference, scribbles on a paper. Understood. Heroes of the wharf. Consultation with Sidora regarding the Kemet. Please hold your position. As you stand waiting, a single tear trails down Sarah's face. I apologize. The sight of these poor souls always moves me, she confesses. The Iron Hand soldiers underwent psychosurgery, a vile arcane procedure that eradicates all emotion. Now they are nothing but obedient sentinels like living golems. Only the officers are spared this fate. All right, so we can either inquire about how to command these emotionless soldiers or ask about the psychosurgery. Let's ask about the psychosurgery. So we go to 3. Psychosurgery is a dark ritual practiced by the Empire to create its Iron Hand soldiers, Sarah reveals, her gaze heavy with unshed tears. It obliterates their capacity to feel emotions, reducing them to mindless sentinels. For years, the Empire used this terrifying threat to repress dissent. If an Iron Hand died and the assassin remained unidentified, a random innocent civilian or citizen would be forced into Iron Hand's vacant role. This cruel practice made rebellion a danger to all. The soldier's impassive voice breaks through the heavy silence. Captain Sidora is ready to receive you. So we go to 4. You find Captain Sidora in the bustling training grounds, a beacon of command amidst a sea of soldiers. She's engaged in issuing strategic orders to her officers, for her voice cutting through the air like a blade. As you approach, an officer breaks away from the group and runs towards you. Salutations, I'm Lieutenant Simpson. He introduces himself with a look of genuine admiration. I've heard tales of your bravery at Fisherman's Wharf. In fact, I owe my life to your heroics. You should know that Captain Sidora is an exemplary leader, and I have noticed her displaying a unique respect towards you. Sidora's gaze shifts onto you, her expression firm yet kind. Lieutenant, you're dismissed. I must engage in a critical discussion with our distinguished guests. She turns her full attention to you, her eyes reflecting a deep concern. I commanded dismantling the most crucial portals in Fisherman's Wharf and attempt to contain the enemy within that city. However, our spies report an alarming development. The Kemet appear to be employing a mighty arcane spell to reactivate the ruined portals. If they succeed, our defenses will crumble. She falls into a reflective silence, her gaze tracing the training grounds. The formidable strength of the Kemet raises grave concerns. I fear that our officials may not withstand the assault of their champions. However, her gaze locks onto yours, a spark of hope igniting. Igniting within. Your display of power has not gone unnoticed. I plan to dispatch troops to Fisherman's Wharf's outskirts to draw away the Kemet's forces. It should create an opening for you to infiltrate their defenses and reach the epicenter of their spell. If you manage to disrupt it, we can prevent their attempts to reopen the portal, rendering its destruction irreversible. With a whirl of energy, you're propelled through the portal, emerging on the edge of Fisherman's Wharf, concealed by the swaying stalks of a vast cornfield. Hushed whispers carried by the wind cut the serenity of the night. Quickly, this way, stay concealed, they're scouring the roads. I'm fatigued and wounded, a weaker voice stammers. Hold on, darling, we'll soon put enough distance between us. Wait, halt, hush. Gods, they're close, flee. Bursting from the cover of darkness, you spot a family of 5, terror carved on their faces as they flee. They're in the path of a unit of Kemet soldiers, their armor glinting menacingly under the moonlight. All right, what will you do? Every fiber of your being screams for justice to aid those in dire need. Step forth from your concealment and intervene on behalf of the family. Or every life matters, but your priority is countless Tanarians who will fall under Kemet's power should you fail in your mission. Sneak past the scene. Or fast action mode. Time is a luxury you can't afford. Your gaze remains fixed on the objective. The ritual site. No distractions are allowed. I'm going to go every fiber of your being screams for justice to aid those in dire need. Step forth from your concealment and intervene on behalf of the family. Oh, by the way, fast action mode. If you want an idea of what's happening but don't care too much about the narrative, choose this option to get to the board quickly. All right, so, but we go to 6. The Kemet soldiers have their eyes fixed on their prey and realize too late that they have become hunted. You must strike them down. You must strike them down before they can raise the alarm. Strategic maneuvering is key, targeting the right enemy at the right moment. Each hero must make a book test, which is intelligence, creativity, strategies, knowledge. All right, so each hero must make an intelligence check. Let's see, 10 plus is success, 9 or less is failure. If you're a tactician, add 3 to the roll. All right, so let's start with the Brute. And the Brute has a intelligence of 2. So he's good. The hero grabs 1 mana cube. So mana cube here, actually, let's come down this way so we can see all this. Grabs 1 mana cube. Placing on its basic attack stat. Oh, placing on its basic attack stat. Oh, 1 fatigue cube, not mana cube. 1 fatigue cube on its basic attack stat. There. In this particular scenario, this symbolizes a prime attacking position. Okay, so then for my Bruiser, who has an intelligence of 1, he's good. So he gets that as well. My Tactician, Rukaru, intelligence of 5, but he gets +3, so he's at 8. So he just needs anything. Yep, there you go. And he got a 19. Wow, look at that. All right. So there we go. And then Hope, the healer, intelligence of 3. Oh, she did not get it. So she doesn't. She fails. Nothing happens if you fail. All right. Next, each hero must select a different foe for their primary attack. Flip the attack's card. Let's see. All right. Next, each hero must select a different foe for their primary attack. Flip the attack's card. It starts the quest flipped. So target a fast swordsman almost reaching the family. The strong mace wielder close behind the swordsman, a light troop flanking through the cornfield, and armored leaders staying behind on a wagon. All right, so 2 important considerations. The exhaust cube is a vital tool. The fatigue cube is a vital tool in your adventure, serving as a tracker for the choices you make. Rather than relying on memory, you'll mark your choices directly on the cube in designated areas. Typically the HP slot or your hero stats. This allows for easy and immediate referencing of your decisions. Initiating the quest with an attack card already flipped in an adventure is an advantage. It accelerates the reactivation of items due to the cycle effect inherent in the gameplay. All right, so we have 4 different targets. Each hero must roll a die. Heroes that succeeded on their test, roll with Bless. This means I roll 2 dice, get the best result. If you roll equal to or higher than the target's defense, deal the chosen primary attack's damage. Ignore the effects and passive power. All right. Otherwise, deal the attack's residual damage. Each enemy has a different HP value. Do not track their HP. If your damage reaches that amount or greater, the target is defeated. Otherwise, it counterattacks, dealing damage to your hero that attacked it. No roll required. All right. So you can see here we got the HP. We're going to have, let's start with the weakest, the light flanker, which was the light troop flanking the cornfield. Hope is going to deal with that guy because Hope's base damage is 8. And Hope, however, did not get blessed. So she just has to do a straight roll. Defense is 7. Oh, and she got a 20, so that's actually +5 damage. So she dealt 13 damage to the light flanker. All right. So then we'll go. Let's see. Rokaru's base damage is 11. So we'll have Rukaru go after the fast swordsman, and he gets. Oh, he has blessed, and fast swordsman has 8 defense. Boom, right there. Got it. All right. So he defeated the fast swordsman. Then we've got my bruiser, who will use Vitality Sword. It deals 10 damage. And he's going to need to roll. We're going to go against a strong mace wielder. Needs to roll a 6. He has blessed. Got it with the 8 right there. And then our brute needs to deal 12 damage to the armored leader. So we'll go with Death Claws, 12 damage per hit. I think maybe I should have actually chosen who was attacking who before I looked at this chart, but we're already here. All right, and again, for the armor leader, he needs to get a 9. Got it. All right, so we defeated them all. Move on to 8. We owe you our lives, brave souls. The patriarchs of the saved family proclaims, their voices echoing into the night as they speed away from the dangerous area of Fisherman's Wharf. Put fatigue cube, slot 2. What? This means that you put a black cube on 2 HP track. Okay. So you just put a black cube here on the HP track, and I guess we're going to check something at the start. After this effect is checked, usually before the quest starts, remove them from the track. Okay. The sky, lit by the moonlight, reveals a breathtaking celestial canvas. You find yourselves exposed in the open field. A sense of urgency takes hold as you venture on a hidden path, a shortcut that promises to lead you to the Kemet Lords before the moon reaches its peak. Go to page 22 and set up quest 02. Know your enemy. Usually your decisions will take you to different quests in the same adventure. Interesting. Here's Know Your Enemy. So actually, I wonder, was it possible I ended up somewhere else? Go to page 22. No, it looks like, in this case, I went to this one no matter what. All right, so here we are. Know Your Enemy. During the invasion of Fisherman's Wharf, the Iron Hand destroyed a portal that is connected with the rest of the Imperial grid. Interrupt a powerful ritual of Kemet Lords trying to reconstitute it. Primary objective, destroy all mana shields protecting the Kemet Lords, at which point we'll read 2.5. If you lose, try again. Extra challenge, kill the Spectre before destroying Gulag's mana shield. So, after the campaign properly begins, you'll gain 2 additional loot cards if you do the extra challenge and win the quest. So that's the whole idea with these extra challenges. No extra resources will be granted for doing the extra challenge in this introduction, but try to keep this challenge in mind and see if you can do it. You'll want to accomplish extra challenges in every quest after this one. Special rules, Kemet Lords and Mana Shield. The Archer, Necromancer, Warrior, and Spy figures, Red Boss token. So we've got this, let's come back out here. Red Boss token right here at 70 health. And right now, the 2 Kemet Lords we've got out are the Archer and the Necromancer right there, the ones that don't have a colored base. Kemet Lords cannot be moved and take no turns. A single mana shield protects 2 Kemet Lords. Put the red boss token on 70, which I showed you. Whenever your attack targets a Kemet Lord, roll against the mana shield's defense stat, which is 2. So basically, as long as you don't roll a 1, you're going to hit them. Whenever you deal damage to a Kemet Lord, reduce the mana shield's HP instead. Whenever a hero uses a skill, the mana shield takes 10 damage. Whenever we use just using a skill. Okay, very cool. And then at the end of a round, if there are Kemet Lords on the grid, a hero will take 5 damage. Crystal deposits, barrel figures. So if we remove a barrel figure with an interaction, we'll gain a mana token. Initial setup, place all heroes on the stairs, which there we are. Place the Reaper and 2 Spectres. Place the Kemet Lords, our Archer figure, and Necromancer. Then after reading the special rules right here, read 2.1 on page 24. So this is chapter 2.1. Using the modifier table provides a set of requirements on the left. These requirements could be related to various factors. If you have, we've got slot 2, mark Warfers saved as a fact. So on our campaign log here, we've got a section called the fact log right here, and you can see Warfers saved right there. So I'm guessing that these facts will eventually affect the story. All right, so now we can remove this. Previous fight against the Kemet makes their forces weaker here. Remove Spectre 93-0 from the board. So that's because we completed Quest 1 Fisherman's Wharf. So, and that obviously, the only way we could have gotten to this quest was by completing that one, but they want us to remove this. Probably that is just a way for them to show you how some of these triggers will work. So fortunately now we just have the one level 3 Spectre and the Reaper. It's a Mystic Spectre and a Violent Reaper. So let's see what else is over here. Black cubes and slots, these represent choices you made during your adventure. The effects will always describe decisions you've made and the implications on your quest. Facts, originally you'll acquire facts indicated in green to record in the campaign log. You'll need to verify if you marked these down. Quest made, correctly answered puzzles, understanding condition tokens. Conditions stack if you have condition tokens. This effect will accumulate. For instance, if you have 2 empowered tokens, you'll deal +6 damage. That's cool. Conditions persist until used. Condition tokens, just like those applied by villains' effects, last until they're used. You retain these tokens until their effects come into play. For instance, a protected token only ends when you're attacked. Similarly, an empowered token ends when your attack hits. This time we're taking it a bit easy, but expect your future decisions to heavily impact the circumstances surrounding your game for better or worse. All right, so then we go back over here. As soon as the Mana Shield Red Boss token drops to 0, read 2.2. At the end of the round, if all villains are dead and the Kemet Lords have been removed from the altar tile, read 2.3. All right, so as soon as this hits 0, we go to 2.2. All right, so that is the setup of the second scenario, Know Your Enemy. We are going to stop the video there, and then we'll come back and film the gameplay, and that'll be the next video that comes out. But that way, the gameplay is its own separate thing. Come back, check that out. Be sure to check out lots of other great stuff. We've got how to play Dungeon Universalis, how to play Gambler's Chess expansion for Kingdom Death Monster. Tons of great stuff coming. And until next time, if you're bored online, bored offline.